I spent $8,500 on Christmas gifts for my son and my sister's kids. Then my sister told my children Santa only rewards the golden ones and opened the most expensive gifts in front of them while my parents laughed. They refused to apologize. So I went to my car, grabbed a folder of bank statements, and the room went dead silent. Okay, so imagine this: you pour your heart, your energy, your money into family, you always show up, always fix things, only for them to casually weaponize your generosity against your own kids. That Christmas, something inside me finally snapped, and believe me, when a fire captain says enough, things are about to change. My name's Barry. I'm 39, a fire captain. I'm a husband to Mia, and a dad to two incredible kids, Liam, who's 9, and Emma, 7. I'm the guy who can't walk into a family gathering without checking the smoke alarms. Yeah, really. I carry a trauma kit in my trunk. I sleep light, my senses always on high alert. Sirens? They're practically in my bones. And for my family, I've always been the one they called the brother who always has it covered. That's how they say it, anyway. Like I'm just a walking wallet with a pulse. This story starts the week before Christmas, at my parents' house. The living room was packed, garland everywhere, plastic reindeer taking up space. I walked in, carrying 8 huge bags. All wrapped, all labeled, color-coded even, because, yeah, I'm that organized. The total damage? About $8,500. Some of it was from crazy good deals, a lot of it wasn't. But it was fine. I'd been budgeting for it since July. I bent down to set a bag by the tree, and then I heard her voice. My sister, Jess, cutting through the festive noise, sharp as a bell. Set those by mine, Barry. She chirped. Santa gifts go in one pile. Parent gifts go in the other. I straightened up, a little confused. They're from us, Jess. You know, from Mom and Dad. We always do it that way, remember? She just smiled. A slow, condescending smile, like a teacher correcting a slow student. No, your kids can get from Mom and Dad. My kids still believe. Santa brings the real gifts to the golden kids. Silence. The kind that makes your ears ring. Then, she looked straight at my kids, and said it again, louder this time, like an announcement for the whole room. Santa only brings real gifts to golden kids. Emma blinked. My sweet Emma. Liam did that brave jaw thing he does when he's trying not to break down. Inside me, I felt the heat rise. Not the scorching heat of a fire, not the kind I'm used to. This was different. This was the kind that makes your fingers twitch. Before anyone else could react, my mom chuckled. Oh, Jessica, she said, patting Jess's arm, her eyes on my children. Don't be so sensitive, you too. Auntie's just joking. But Jess wasn't joking. She knew it. I knew it. And my kids certainly knew it. She lifted the biggest box in her pile, one of the ridiculously overpriced gaming laptops I'd bought, and flashed the label toward the room. This is for my Noah, she declared, because he made the select team. Golden Kid privilege. She winked. My dad just chuckled from his armchair, like her cruelty was some kind of clever wit. Mia touched my sleeve, her voice a whisper in my ear. Barry. Breathe. I breathed. I looked around the room. The vacant smiles on my parents' faces. My sister's smug grin. My kids' confused, hurt eyes. Everyone just pretending it was all a joke. A joke made for us. It wasn't. I straightened up, said nothing. Because the first rule in a burning room isn't to run. It's to look for the exits. Then Jess, with a flourish, peeled the wrapping paper off the laptop, the one I paid for, and set it on her golden child's lap, right in front of Liam and Emma. Like she'd just won a raffle I'd funded. People assume firefighters are hotheads. The truth is, the job trains the impulse out of you. We walk into screaming chaos, and we don't scream back. We follow checklists. We keep time. We do the next right thing. Family, though? Family makes it harder. Growing up, Jess was the storm, and I was the guy who moved the furniture to brace for impact. She got the violin lessons, the new cleats, the shiny spring brakes. I got the speech about being steady, about being reliable. It wasn't malicious, not exactly. It was just constant. The story wrote itself: Jess, our talent, our sparkle, the prodigy. Me? I was reliable. Helpful. Our rock. The budget line item. Barry. When Dad got laid off the first time, I was 21, already pulling overnights at Station 14. I picked up extra shifts. I slid cash to Mom for groceries. Covered a utility bill here and there. Nobody asked. Nobody had to. "You're so good with money, Barry," Mom would say, which was code for, "you will pay." Jess had important additions. I had overtime. It didn't bother me at first. I like solving things. I like fixing. But it added up. I co-signed Jess's first car, for a good rate, of course. I paid half her grad school deposit so she wouldn't lose her spot. When their old roof started leaking, I fixed it myself, and handled the insurance calls too. Every Christmas, it was Barry will handle the big stuff. He knows deals. It turned into a script. The worst line was always the same: Barry can take it. When Mia and I had Liam, and then Emma, I actually thought the script would retire. I thought being a father would change the calculus, that it would shift their perspective. Instead, the requests just got dressed up as tradition. "Mom, we always do big Christmas. It's who we are." "Dad, you make good money, son. Captain now? Don't be stingy." "And Jess? The kids are only little once, Barry. You don't want them to miss out, do you?" If I ever pushed back, even a little, I got the tone. "Wow," Jess would say in the cousin chat, "money's really gone to his head." Or Mom would text Mia, "Is everything okay with Barry? He seems tense." Tense is what they call you when you finally say no. Last year, I tried setting boundaries. "We're scaling down," I told the family in November. "Budgets are tighter. Kids will get 3 gifts each. Experiences, not stuff." Jess responded in the group thread with a gif of someone laughing until they cried. Mom dropped a thumbs up on her message, and a heart on mine, like she was collecting both sides as decor. This year, I really didn't plan to go big. Then I got the shift schedule. I'd be on duty the 24th and 26th, Christmas Day? That was off. Just one day. My kids circled it on the calendar. Emma drew a pink heart around the 25th. Liam wrote "Dad home" in block letters next to it. I caved. I spent months grabbing things when I could. The robotics kit Liam desperately wanted. The art desk Emma kept visiting at the store. A bike with that perfect color that made her squeal. For the cousins? A laptop, split screen for school and gaming. A smartwatch. A keyboard. A set of prograde markers for my niece who draws. Equal gifts across kids. That's the rule Mia and I made, because we remember what unequal feels like. Total, $8,500. I could afford it. I planned for it. It wasn't reckless. It was me trying to buy an easy day. But the family dynamic? It didn't respect math. It was a machine. The week before Christmas, Jess started warming up the audience. In the family chat, "Who's ready for Santa?" "Mom, our golden babies deserve the best." "Dad, Barry, you got the receipts? You're good at that." I just wrote, "Yep." That was it. I wasn't going to argue. In front of the kids. I wasn't going to turn December into a courtroom. Then we walked into my parents' house, and just started dividing piles like a customs officer. She said the line about golden kids, and something in me just clicked. Not anger, not yet. Just clarity. Because here's the part one haven't told you. The money? It wasn't just mine. Half of it was earmarked from the overtime fund Mia and I set aside to help my parents during Dad's second layoff. We've been quietly paying their mortgage top-up for 8 months. We covered Mom's dental implants. We even refinanced a small loan under my credit because Dad's score wouldn't qualify. Jess knows some of this. She just pretends she doesn't. So, when she took the laptop I bought, called her kid golden, and told my children that Santa didn't bring real gifts to them, it wasn't just mean. It was theft. With glitter on it. I watched Emma shrink. I watched Liam press his tongue against his cheek, trying to keep from crying, because he's me. I watched my sister open a second box, a smartwatch, and strap it to her son's wrist while my parents smiled like they were at a show. "Barry," Dad said later, his mouth full of cheese ball. "You're quiet. You mad?" Mom just laughed. "Don't be sensitive. Jess is just making memories." "Yeah," Jess chimed in, tearing more paper. "Golden ones." I didn't explode. I stood up. I told Mia, "I'm grabbing something from the car," and walked out. The cold slapped my face. I opened the trunk and pulled out the red binder I keep for insurance, taxes, all the boring stuff that makes life work. Inside were copies. Mortgage drafts. Bank statements. The spreadsheet Mia calls Barry's brain, where every transfer, every gift, every top-up is dated and logged. And a separate folder, labeled Christmas 2025, with all the receipts I'd printed from this year, because I know my family. Big talk, until numbers show up. I came back in. I set the binder on the coffee table. I didn't raise my voice. "Pause," I said. "Everyone, pause. No more opening." Jess frowned. "Excuse me?" Mom sighed. "Barry, don't make a scene." Dad said, "Son." I opened the binder. I slid out the first page. 8 months, I said. "That's how long Mia and I have been covering your mortgage gap. It's $1,100 a month. Total so far? $8,800. Mom flushed. Deep red. Dad looked at the TV like sports might save him. I pulled out the next sheet. Dental implants. $3,950. Paid in full. Receipt with my card, last spring. We told you it was a blessing so you wouldn't feel weird. Mom's eyes filled, but not in the right way. Not sorry. Cornard. I turned to Jess. 2 years ago, you asked me to co-sign for your car. I did it. Last summer, you missed 2 payments. It hit my credit. I covered them so you wouldn't default. $1,076 here. I tapped the line on the statement. Jess crossed her arms. Why are you throwing this in my face now? I held up a hand. I'm not. I'm giving context. Because you just told my kids Santa doesn't bring real gifts to them. Then you opened the 2 most expensive things I bought, with my name on the receipts, in front of them, and called your kids golden. You did that. She rolled her eyes. It was a joke. Liam whispered, No, it wasn't. Emma nodded. Small and fierce. I set a neat stack of receipts on the table. Laptop? Purchased by me. Smartwatch? Purchased by me. They were labeled for the cousins, as a group. We weren't doing Santa versus parents. We were doing family. You decided otherwise. Dad huffed. So what? You can afford it. I looked at him. That's not the point. Mom waved a dismissive hand. Barry, you're turning a holiday into an audit. Okay, I said gently. Audit it is. I slid out the last page. The one that made everyone suck in air when they saw the total. All in support to this household this year? $18,756. That's on top of today's gifts. And that's not counting the nights I drove over to fix the water heater, and the 6 a.m. airport runs, and the time I took off to sit with you, Dad, at cardiology. Silence. The TV light flickered on faces that suddenly looked older, hollow. Jess tried to laugh. What do you want, Barry? A trophy? No, I said. A boundary. I turned to my kids. Liam, Em, come here. They came to my side. Mia stood behind them, her hand on Emma's shoulder, a silent force. I looked at Jess. Here's what's going to happen. We're going to repack the gifts we brought for your kids and our kids. They'll open them together later, at our place, where nobody gets called golden and nobody gets downgraded to too sensitive. Mom sputtered. You can't take Christmas from us. You took it from my kids, I said, my voice steady, when you made it a ranking. Dad leaned forward, his eyes hard. You think you can just, yes, I said. Come. I can. I nodded to Mia. She started gathering boxes. Liam, bless his heart, gently picked up the laptop and put it back in the bag. Jess reached to grab it. I stepped between them. Stop, I said. Do not put your hands on my son or his gifts again. Jess's mouth curled. You're ungrateful. After everything we've done for you. Mia laughed. Once. Loud. Name one thing, she said. Jess opened and closed her mouth like a fish. Mom tried a new tactic, tears. Family is family, she whispered. Exactly, I said. So we don't hurt kids to make a point. I zipped the last bag. I slid one more paper across the table. This is a new point. Starting January 1st, we are no longer your bank. If you need help, you ask. If we say no, that's a full answer. If anyone calls our kids names again, we're done for a while. Not a threat. Just a boundary. With dates. Dad stood half out of his chair. You can't talk to me like I'm not talking to you like anything, I said. I'm telling you what we're doing. Jess muttered, Drama King. Fire Captain, I said, evenly. I know how to end a dangerous situation. We laughed. It wasn't dramatic. No slamming doors, no shouting in the driveway. I loaded the bags into the car. For a second, I stood there with my hands on the trunk, just breathing, like I do after a hard call. The cold air smelled like snow. Inside, muffled voices rose and fell, but I let the house have its noise without me. Mia buckled Emma in. You okay? She asked her. Emma nodded. Auntie is mean. She was, Mia said softly. But we're not. Liam looked out the window. Dad? Yeah, bud? Are we in trouble? I swallowed. No, we told the truth. Sometimes the truth is loud. Back home, we made cocoa. We put all the gifts in the hall. We invited my partner Torres and his wife and their girls over, because they were nearby and kind. Within an hour, there were kids' socks in places socks don't belong, ripped paper under the couch, and laughter in rooms that had held their breath all day. Emma opened the art desk and cried a tiny, happy cry, the kind that makes me want to hand the world to her, and then set a guard around it. Liam opened the robotics kit and immediately started building a little arm that waved. When you said his name. Later, the cousins FaceTimed from my parents' house, whispering, we didn't know. Sorry, Mom's freaking out. Torres and I stepped onto the porch for air. He's been my friend long enough to read the night on my face. How bad? He asked. House fire, I said. Started by a joke. We pulled our kids out. He nodded, like that made perfect sense. Proud of you. My phone buzzed. Mom, come back. We can talk. I didn't answer. Dad, be a man. Don't run. I put the phone face down. Jess, you're ridiculous. The kids are crying. You ruined Christmas. Mia sent one reply, from both of us, don't text like that. We'll talk after the holiday. We didn't go back that night. We didn't go back the next day either. I worked Christmas Eve, slept a little at the station between calls, came home at dawn on the 25th to pancakes and the smell of cinnamon, and a crooked construction paper star taped to the front window because Emma said, every house needs one. At 10 a.m., the doorbell rang. My parents, and just behind them, Jess, arms folded. I could have not answered, but I opened the door. I wanted my kids to see what boundaries look like, with the lights on. Mom stepped in like she owned the place. Barry, this is childish. I held up a hand. Stop. House rules. Shoes off. Voices low. We talk like people. Jess scoffed, but kicked off her boots anyway. Liam and Emma hovered in the hallway. I crouched to them. Kitchen, okay? Headphones if you want. They nodded and disappeared with their hot cocoa, like little retirees. We sat at the table. Mia poured coffee for everyone, then leaned back in her chair like a person ready to sit in truth all day if needed. Dad started. You embarrassed us. You embarrassed my kids, I said. Priorities. Mom pressed her napkin to her eye. We didn't raise you to be cruel. You raised me to serve, I replied. I'm good at it. But service without respect is exploitation. We're done with that. Jess crossed her arms tighter. It was a joke. I met her eyes. Explain the joke to my 7-year-old. She looked away. She's too sensitive. No, I said. She's 7. Dad leaned forward. Money has made you boundaried. Mia said, money didn't make us boundaried. Your behavior did. They threw everything at us. Guilt. Nostalgia. Family versus outsiders. The classics. I kept bringing it back to basics. I slid the receipts across the table again. I circled totals in quiet pen. This is help we gave, not a weapon. Just facts. We gave because we love you. We will still love you if we give less. Jess eyed the stack like it was a trapdoor. So what? You're cutting us off? We're cutting off the assumption, I said. Ask. Sometimes we'll say yes. Sometimes no. Both are love. Mom tried the picture of a new future. Fine, but you can't take all the gifts back. The kids saw them. I smiled a little. The kids will see more gifts in their lives. What they needed to see this weekend was us protecting them. Dad's jaw worked. You think you're better than us? I shook my head. I think I'm responsible for the 2 kids who call me dad, and the woman who married me. Everyone else is optional. Something in the room changed then. Not a miracle. A shift. Maybe it was the part where nobody yelled back, because we never raised our voices. Maybe it was the part where for once, I didn't try to fix their feelings for them. Jess stood first. Whatever. She grabbed her boots. Don't expect us at Easter. Mia shrugged. Then it'll be peaceful. Mom followed Jess, tears back in performance mode. Dad lingered. He looked at me, then at the binder, then passed me toward the kitchen where our kids were giggling over some YouTube video about slime. You really kept us afloat, he asked, quieter than I expected. Yeah, I said. Because I could. Because I wanted to. Not because you were owed. He nodded once, tight. I'll figure it out. I hope you do, I said. Let me know if you want me to look at a budget with you. As a favor. Not a duty. He swallowed. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Dad. They left. The house exhaled. Mia slid her hand into mine. You okay? I let myself feel it then. Anger. Relief. Grief. Pride. All stacked on each other like the gear shelves at the station. Yeah, I said. I am. The next days were weird and new. Fewer texts. Quieter phone. More time. We took the kids sledding. We built a fort. I taught Liam how to do a proper hose lay with the garden line, because he asked, and because it's a good way to turn a 9-year-old into a focused one for 20 minutes. Emma painted at her new desk and taped little drawings of fire trucks to the side. She drew me with a big smile and the wrong color helmet. I didn't correct her. On the 28th, Mom texted, "We should talk. I'm sorry you felt hurt." I didn't respond. On the 30th, she tried again, without the "you felt." "I'm sorry. I shouldn't have laughed when Jess said what she said. I didn't think about the kids." That one got a thanks. No invitation. Not yet. Jess went nuclear on social media for a day. Vague posts about money changing people and setting boundaries against controlling relatives, that made her friends comment hearts. I didn't engage. A boundary is a fence, not a podium. On New Year's Day, Dad called. "I want to see that budget thing," he said, his voice gravelly. "Your mother is changing some things." "Okay," I said. "Come by this weekend. We'll make coffee." When he came, he was smaller. Not in body. Just in energy. He sat at our table and watched me walk him through a simple spreadsheet. Income, fixed costs, variable, debt snowball. He nodded like each number was a new language he could learn, if he stopped pretending he already spoke it. He didn't say the word sorry. He didn't have to. Not that day. Sometimes, repair starts with the absence of contempt. The kids asked if Grandma and Grandpa would come to Emma's school art night in February. "Maybe," I said. "If they follow the rules." "What rules?" Emma asked. "Be kind. Don't rank people. Don't make fun of feelings. Ask before taking. If someone messes up, they say sorry and change." Emma considered. "Those are easy." I smiled. "You'd think." 2 weeks later, I was at the station, mid-shift, when a call came through for a kitchen fire in a townhouse 3 miles from my parents'. We rolled. It wasn't theirs, but standing on that porch, smelling the same acrid smoke that always smells like the first one I ever fought, I thought about fire behavior. How it needs heat, fuel, oxygen. You remove one side of the triangle, the fire dies. Family conflict is the same. For years, I fed it. Money is fuel, silence as oxygen, guilt as heat. That Christmas, I pulled one side out. The room changed. Jess hasn't apologized. Maybe she won't. That part stopped being my project the second I zipped that last bag. My kids don't flinch at the word sensitive anymore, because they watched their dad say no, and then not fold when it got awkward. That matters more than a perfect holiday. Mom sent a longer message last night. "I'm embarrassed," she wrote. I shouldn't have laughed. I thought it was just being Jess. I didn't think about the kids. "I'm sorry. I want to do better. Can we come to Emma's art night if we promise to? Behave?" I read it twice. I sent back, "Yes. We'll try again. Same rules as before." Dad texted me a photo of his new budget notebook, with a joke about rookie lines. I told him it looked good. I meant it. Here's the moral, the one I want fixed in my kids' bones: I am not a bank. I am not a stagehand for other people's drama. I'm a dad, and a husband, and a man who runs into burning rooms for strangers. So, I will absolutely walk out of a living room when my own family lights a match and calls it a joke. I won't pay admission to watch my kids get hurt. I won't budget for cruelty. I won't trade peace for performance. We still do Christmas. Smaller. Quieter hours. Mia labels the bins. I label the receipts, because I am who I am. Emma's star is still crooked on the window. Liam's robot still waves when you say his name. Family can earn their way back. That door is cracked open. But my boundaries? Those are shut, latched, checked. And if someone tries to test them, I'll do what I did that night. Stand up. Speak plain. Protect the people I'm responsible for. Then go make hot cocoa and build a fort. Because that's what a captain does. Not just at work. At home.